Welcome to the Auction Block Podcast, straight talk from the block. Welcome your hosts, Garrett Riles and Benjamin Bishop.
Welcome to the Auction Block, straight talk from the block. I'm your host, Garrett Riles, and
I'm Benjamin Bishop, and it is so good to be back in the studio. Sorry for the week delay, but we had a busy week with the summer auction this past weekend, and it was something to behold. That it was pretty amazing, even with the inclement weather. If you
want it to rain,
yeah,
just let us know. We'll have an auction.
We'll schedule an auction, and we'll be sure to get your crops watered.
Yeah, you probably don't want them watered right now, but we're gonna have another one in August, so we'll be there in Ashland, and maybe it'll not rain. Maybe the week before or something, but hopefully on sale day we can get a sunny and 75 or something.
Yeah, sunny and 75 in August. That'll be something to hope for there for sure. But yeah, it's the last two auctions. It's never failed. It's rained on sale day. But man, we appreciate our buyers and sellers for sticking around and sticking it out in the inclement weather. And we still had a stellar of a sale. For the conditions being, there was one item in particular that just wowed everybody. You wanna give us a little info about that?
It was a Cat 316 EL that come off of an estate deal outside of Marshall County, and I don't know the stats or anything, but Machinery Pete keeps up with all that kind of stuff, and he says it was one of the highest one sold since December of 2022, and that was like the pinnacle of high dollar stuff.
Yeah,
December of 2022. That was tax time and top of inflation on equipment.
Yeah, that piece of equipment there rung the bell. Was there anything in particular about that piece of equipment that help it achieve that kind of monetary value? Let's kind of go back over our past episodes there, and kind of go through a checklist. They got the machine there in a timely manner where we got it advertised, and was able to spread the word that piece of equipment was going to be there. And then it from what I could tell, which I'm no expert by no means, but it seemed to be that they had gone over it as far as maintenance wise. Like everything seemed to be greased and tight on it. And so it was for a used piece of equipment, it was showroom ready.
It was low hour, 2,200 hours, been shed kept. Really nice machine. Pre-def, no def. That's what a lot of people like. They like machines that don't have def on them. That machine did not have def, so that really helped it out a lot. And the guy that bought it, talking about previous episodes, he come out there, he drove 2 hours, and he showed up twice before the auction that week before, 2 different days. He was coming up there, and he was checking on it, and he ended up buying it, and he got a really, really nice machine. Yeah, he really did. It's got a manual thumb on it. Cab, it was straight as a string, and it was a good machine.
Yeah, and that's it's like we've talked about, getting the equipment there so that we can give it advertised, and then give potential buyers enough time. Like you said, he was 2 hours away, and he come twice to do his due diligence, to do his homework on that piece of equipment, and kudos to him for putting in the time and the effort to make sure that's what he was looking for, and we appreciate the seller for getting it to us in a timely manner to get it advertised so that we could get him top dollar for it.
And trusting us to do our job.
To get the money there. Yeah. But it takes having it there so we can advertise it and get it out there for people to see. Yeah. So. Well, that's
our next sale's in August, like we said earlier. Ashland in August, so we're taking stuff in now. If you want to start sending pictures or getting prepared, we're ready to roll on it. So if you got something you want to start getting advertised, we're starting now. Earlier the better. So if you've got anything, keep that in mind. It's probably going to be the 3rd week of August. We haven't set the date for sure, but it's going to be it's been one of the best sales we've had over the years. It's the first sale we ever done on our own, and it's going to be a good sale. I believe.
Yeah, Ashland's kind of a prime location too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good farmland, good construction area there. A lot of
We're not far out of Memphis and not far out of Tennessee. 30 minutes from the Tennessee line, so we draw a lot of people from Tennessee there, and it's been really good to us over the years, and be a change of scenery anyway, something new, something different than going to the yard every time. But I think it'll be a good sale.
Yeah, be interesting to see how that plays out for sure.
But in the meantime, I mean, if you're looking for a sale to go to, there's sales still, not just our sale, but there's other sales coming up. Clayton Auctions next Tuesday, July 24th at 4 p.m. in the evening in Henderson, Tennessee. They've got an estate sale with a Chevy C30 truck, some Harley Davidson, a nice Chevy Monte Carlo SS Super Coupe, and a ton of shop items. So if you can, it's on-site only, no online bidding. So check them out, Clayton Auctions, June 24th at 4 o'clock in the evening. Go ahead and look at their Facebook page. They've got pictures posted, some pretty cool stuff. And, I mean, heck, if you like older cars, that Monte Carlo might be calling your name.
Yeah, and Henderson's not all that far from where we're at. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump across the line there. Yeah. But, yeah, check Clayton out. Check them out on Facebook. I know they do a pretty good job of posting pictures.
Oh, yeah, they do a good job.
And so, check them out and make plans to attend that if that's your niche. The older vehicles, Harley Davidsons.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. We need to go up there and get us a couple of bikes.
I'm good. I can barely keep four wheels on the ground, more or less, two.
Yeah.
Another one is Southern Equipment Sales, June 19th. That's this week. They're starting at 9 o'clock on bid.scsbid.com. It'll be a live auction, online only, but it's live. They'll have an auctioneer there. And then they're running two rings, one live ring, and then they're running a timed ring, selling a lot of skid steer attachments, mini excavators, containers of various sizes, mini skids, trucks, a lot of equipment. They always have a huge selection of stuff, and it's really nice. It's all pretty much new. They do have a wide variety of used, bigger, larger equipment too, but they have a huge sale and a lot of stuff in it. And it's worth looking at. Go to bid.scsbid.com. Southern Equipment Sales, June 19th at 9 o'clock. That's in Finger, Tennessee. And I enjoy watching that sale. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's you a couple options that are coming up before our next sale in Ashland. So if you're just desperate and gotta have something, check out the one there in Finger and then Henderson as well. Maybe they can suit you with what you're looking for until the Ashland sale.
Yeah, and even you never know what we're going to have. If they've got it, go ahead and get it now, because who knows what Ashland's going to have. It'll have some stuff, but we never know what we're going to have. So if you're looking for something, skid steer attachments and all that, Southern Equipment Sales is where you want to go. And if you're looking for some antique cars, shop items, shop tools, different things, check out Clayton. It's June 24th.
Yeah. So let's we kind of plug a couple different auctions there, and did a little recap on our previous auction there.
What was your highlight?
My highlight last Saturday, the rain. No, could have done without that. Man, I don't know. The food trucks. Yeah. Now
you're always hitting on them food trucks.
I am.
Asa does a good job.
He does. It was excellent food. Yeah. Excellent food. I mean, you think I got this big by not eating? I mean, come on now. But no. And the sale. I guess one of my highlights at the sale is seeing the variety of people there. I've got a lot of friends and family that showed up for that sale, and it's always fun to hang out with some friends and families, in kind of a unique environment. It's not around a dinner table or baseball field or anything of that. An auction is a very unique environment, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of good energy. And so, that's kind of one of my highlights is the fellowship side of it.
Yeah.
Getting to hang out with some guys that you work along with, or grew up with, or farm with in kind of a relaxed environment that's not, it's not work related. It's, and so that's kind of one of my highlights there is the fellowship side of things, and getting to stand around and talk about equipment and talk about jobs and talk about life and this, that, and the other. So that's kind of one of my highlights of this past one was getting to see a lot of familiar faces and helping them find pieces or sell pieces that they were interested in. So that was kind of my highlight was just the seeing the familiar faces and
a lot of those guys come to every single sale, and then you think they're there just to hang out and meet people, but they're always buying something. You never know.
Oh yeah. You never you be standing there. Next thing you know, they've done bought something, and that's the cool thing about the auction is you never know what item will pop up and what it'll go for.
Yeah.
It could be something that you've been wanting for years. And then all of a sudden, it shows up and it's there in your price range, and you get to take it home.
Yeah.
My dad, he showed up this past sale,
Yeah.
And he'd been looking for a little utility trailer to run to Lowe's and get some lumber and that kind of stuff. And lo and behold, there was one that was there, and he got it for a good deal. And so. He wasn't really just all out, just, hard on the hunt for one, but he'd been looking for one for several months, and one was there, and it was in good shape, and it was within his price range, and so he took it home. So you don't ever know. You don't ever know what you're going to find and what's going to be there, or who's going to be there. And it's an auction's a lot of fun. It's a unique energy, and that's just it's always a highlight to be a part of that.
I'll tell you something else that kind of stood out was our 8000 series John Deere tractors, the big tractors, the 8310R and the 8360R. They've been off for a little while in previous sales and other sales. Been just watching them, and they've come down a lot. But them two that we had at the sale last week, they were fairly high-hour tractors. They were good tractors, but they had higher hours on them. And IVT transmissions. One was ILS, one was a 1500 front end. But both of them done pretty good for the times that we're in. I was very tickled with what they brought, and I think the consignor was too. They stood tall and done very well. I was kind of surprised. I was a little bit worried. I said, man, that was going to be a tough sale. And normally they do they hold their own, but here lately they've been pretty tough, and then both of those done very, very well for the times that we're in, and the farming economy and the way things have been, the rain and the interest rates and everything like that. Them two tractors done very well.
Yeah. I tell you another thing that I was pretty excited about was the company out of Memphis that brought
Argo.
us. Argo brought us 7, 8 pieces, 10 pieces.
It was 8.
8 pieces of equipment to sell for them, and they'd gotten their money's worth out of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got them fair market value for every one of those pieces, and that's something to take note of, is for a company like Argo to entrust us to do our job.
Yeah.
And I think
they left. I think they were tickled. They sold their stuff, and then they even bought back another track host. So they were happy talking to him after the sale. They were tickled with that.
Yeah, I kind of prodded him on that track host, so I need a little commission on that.
Oh,
no, but yeah, that's something to take note of a company like that, to say, hey, we've kind of been watching you.
Yeah.
So here's 8 pieces, and I wouldn't say that we just rung the bell on them, but we like I said, we got them fair market value for what they were. And I think that's kind of what they were expecting, you know,
happy.
And so, you know, that's pretty exciting to be able to help a large company like that and help them move that many pieces at one time.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be a headache for some of these larger construction companies like that have so many pieces. Like, I mean, they're not going to want to place all those on marketplace and deal with the
They're trying to move dirt. They don't have time to sell.
Is this still available? You know, will you take X amount? You know, will you take $10,000 less than what you're asking? But instead, they would rather just, you know, send them to us and let us advertise them, let us do the marketing, let us deal with the headache, if you will, of the tire kickers.
Especially here lately. Golly, I mean, could you imagine trying to be in the dirt work? I know you do dirt work, and my brother does dirt work, but that's a big company, and they do big jobs.
Yeah.
And as much rain as we've had here lately, I mean, if they ever catch a break where it's dry enough, these farmers too, I mean, it is just rain. They can't catch a break, and I really feel, I hope it'll dry up a little bit, and they can, if it ever dries up, it's going to be wide open.
Yeah. And ain't no doubt about that, because it is, you know, we've gotten, this has have to be one of the wettest summers we've ever had. And it you know, and it gets stressful for guys that are in the dirt business, that are in the tree business, that are farmers, because if you weren't able to get in your fields and get your crops planted, in between the rains, you know, then you're out of luck, you know, and that's, I mean, that's your primary source of income. It's not like you can, you know, go clock into a factory and make up for what you didn't get planted, you know, because that's,
and that's not just, it's bad for them, but it trickles down.
Oh yeah,
And
for
that
sure.
means us.
Yeah, exactly. Because if the farmers didn't get the cotton or the corn or the soybeans, I mean that means there's going to be a lack in inventory at the end of the year, and we'll feel the effects of it because we're going to have to get them from somewhere.
Yeah.
And
he might have been planning on making a bumper crop, or you know, getting everything planted and doing really well, and getting another tractor, or doing this or doing that.
Yeah,
and
buying some more land,
it trickles down. We feel it when they feel it as an auction company, because if somebody's got to buy it, and if times are tough, it's kind of tough to find somebody to buy it. We can do it, but it makes it tougher.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, hopefully we'll catch a break in the weather.
I did see where beans shot up a lot over the past week.
Yeah,
they come up a good bit, so that's promising.
That's good.
I ain't gonna say a lot, but they did come up, and that's promising.
Yeah, and I would probably dare say that kind of has a domino effect too. That when one crop kind of tends to start going up, that the rest of the crop kind of does the same as far as
I hope so.
Price wise. I know farmers got their fingers crossed on that for sure. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we had a great summer sale. What was it? Almost 700 items again, or 600? Just shy of 600 items, and that's a lot of product. That's a lot of pieces.
We've been very, very blessed to get the number of items and then get the number of items sold. I think it was a little over 75% sale rate, which is very good.
I would say so.
Very good. And we've just been very fortunate, and we want to thank everybody who's trusted us to sell their equipment or trusted us to come buy equipment from us. We could not do it without you. If there's ever anything we can do for any of you, you let us know. We'll work for you just as hard as we work for anybody else. And thank y'all for what you've done. We've been extremely blessed over the past 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, just the last two sales, 700, 600 pieces, just shy of 1,500 pieces in two sales. That is, that's a lot of pieces. That's a lot of equipment. That's a lot of inventory, that people's entrusted with y'all, and having that 75 to 80% sell rate. That means there's a lot of happy sellers and a lot of happy buyers, you know.
I hope so.
Hope so anyway. But yeah, I mean that's that's something to be commended, and that's that's something that's tough to do, to have that percentage, because you're not just to sell 75 to 80% of the inventory. Number one, it's got to be at a value that the seller's happy to sell with. Number one. Number two, it's got to be at a value that the buyer's happy to pay for.
Yeah.
And so that's that's a tough juggling act to do, and to achieve that on a 75 to 80% ratio. That's man, that's a lot of tough work, and that's something to be commended. I dare say that there's not many auctions out there that are hitting those numbers, that are hitting those percentages. And so,
I don't know.
but
I know we've been lucky.
Yeah, blessed.
Yeah, blessed.
But I mean, we are putting in the work, though. You know, we get the as soon as we get the equipment, we're taking pictures, we're taking videos, and we're getting it advertised to the general public all over the world.
Yeah, we loaded a tractor a minute ago. I don't know what time it is. 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
We loaded one. I don't know. 8 o'clock this morning. Loaded it in the back of a van trailer going to Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going everywhere.
Yeah. So get us the equipment as soon as possible, because the longer it's on the internet, the more people can see it. And like Garrett just said, we just shipped one to Mexico from this previous sale.
Got one going to Guatemala.
So see, they're going all over the world. But the sooner the equipment's there,
the more likely it increases your odds a lot when you get selling them. When you get them on there early and get the videos on there early and the pictures on there early and a good description and doing those FaceTimes. Dad stayed. I think he was, might as well have glued his phone to his ear. People were just calling him, wanting to check this stuff out, and that really helped.
Yeah, I actually got to witness one. There was a couple of guys interested in one of the Peterbilts.
Yeah.
And I sat there and watched him do a FaceTime inspection with those guys that were interested in one of the Peterbilts. And I mean, he pulled the hood back, and he was showing them just about every square inch of the motor. And then Grant was there. Grant's got a little more, I think, knowledge on the big trucks than your dad does.
Yeah.
And so Grant was pointing out some stuff as well, from what he had noticed from driving it around in the yard. And so, they were going over that Peterbilt with a fine tooth comb to those guys, via FaceTime. And, that is something to take advantage of, because I mean, there's not many people out there that's willing to take the time and, to really show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. A lot of folks want to shine it up real nice and just show you the pretty, and oh yeah, it cranks and runs, and go about your day, but Riles auctions, they are,
or tell you it runs and it don't run.
Yeah. or
We'll find it out.
Or mislead you to look how good those tires are.
That's the least of our worry at the moment. We need to make sure the bones are good.
Exactly. But that's something Riles Auction goes over and beyond with, is not calling a lemon a peach. They're going to shoot you straight. And I feel like the sellers appreciate that aspect as well.
I hope they do.
Because there's no buyer's remorse, and with that too, the seller knows that if what Riles does, buyers know what they're getting.
They should.
And so there's no back and forth or anything of that nature. It's, hey, we showed you, we told you, this is what we seen. And we're human. There's going to be some things that possibly gets looked over or missed or whatever, just because we're human. But we're going to do our due diligence to make sure people know what they're getting, and it's what you're looking for, and it's everything you hoped and thought it would be. And I think that benefits the seller and the buyer in both aspects, because the really nice stuff, when they see how nice it actually is, they're willing to give. Some people are willing to give over fair market value if it's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
If it's what they've been hunting. It's like the John Deere we had, not this last sale, but the sale before, where the two ladies got into a bidding war over it. They gave over market value because that was what they were looking for, and took advantage of looking it over and making sure it was what they were wanted, and they gave more than what anybody else wanted to give. And so that's. I think showing people the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of helps raise that market a little more, for the sellers and for the buyers.
Yep. I think everybody's happy, and I hope they are. And if they'll take advantage of that, they should be.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're going to wrap it up. Y'all don't forget Clayton Auction, June 24th at 4 o'clock. They're going to sell a few antique vehicles, Harley Davidson, and a lot of shop tools. You won't want to miss it. June 24th, 4 p.m., Henderson, Tennessee. Look them up on Facebook at Clayton Auctions. And this coming week, June 19th at 9 o'clock, a live and timed online auction. 2 rings, bid.scesbid.com. A ton of skid steer attachments, a lot of mini excavators, containers of various sizes, mini skids, a lot of equipment. Be sure to check that out. Bid.scesbid.com. Call Mark. Call Blake, worry them, ask them a lot of questions. They got some really good stuff. They're really good folks, and you won't want to miss it. And I appreciate every one of y'all for coming to the sale, bidding with us, selling with us. If we can ever help you, call us. My number is 662-274-4708. Next sale's in August, and we'll have some more shows before then. So y'all be tuning in and check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. You check us out on Facebook. Give us a like and a follow on Facebook, Riles Auctions, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. It was a pleasure being back in the studio with you again, Garrett. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you.